This computer. Okay, we're recording. Let's go. Okay, so it's been a while. We're talking about intimacy and access intimacy and forced intimacy and all of these things. And you're going to pretend like I can say the word intimacy easily. Intimacy is defined as a personal closeness between two people where vulnerability isn't uncomfortable. I really like this definition. Okay, so here are some like general types of intimacy. We got emotional intimacy, which is like friendships and feeling and caring for people. Am I going to cough? No. Intellectual intimacy is thoughts and like ideas and like opinions. No? Okay. Spiritual intimacy is like values, core beliefs, religious and like non-religious kind of like values. And then physical intimacy is like touch, which can be romantic or non-romantic. These are the kinds of intimacy, vaguely, in broad strokes. So now we're going to talk about the disability-specific subtypes of intimacy. We got forced intimacy and access intimacy. Forced intimacy. Forced intimacy. So Maria Mingus has this like very great, she's written a bunch of fabulous articles about forced intimacy and access intimacy and all of these amazing things. And she has a couple of really good videos, I think one of which we link in this presentation. But if you're interested in this topic, Mia Mingus, who is her name is here with the names of the articles. You should go check them out. So forced intimacy is being forced to share deeply personal parts of our body, minds, and lives to maintain access. I was going to try and come up with an example of this, and then my brain just fell out of my head. I think like a good example of this is like if you're a wheelchair user and your smart assist, it's power assist. Your power assist isn't working. You're like a man in a wheelchair with your power assist, like asking someone to help push you up a hill. That's like you gotta ask someone to do something kind of personal, which is like move your corporeal form, so that you can get to class. Are people texting me? May or may not. May or may not. I'm gonna ignore my phone. I should not. Emotional labor of forced access. Having to build and sustain intimacy with others in order to maintain access. So like there's an emotional labor of like having to be constantly intimate with someone like on some level in order to maintain access. I think that this can look a lot of ways. I know the chat has a message. Go code, love you, you're the best. I've worked with a bunch of people who have tracheostomies in my life, and so as part of their like needing to breathe and stay alive, I do have to like kind of be all up in their face and their neck a couple times a day, like cleaning and like getting all that situation. And like that's a level of intimacy that like some guy that doesn't really know me isn't necessarily interested in. So like that's sort of like a lot, and he has to do it all the time with tons of different people, and so it just becomes a lot, or it can become a lot. The cost of access. This is a quote. I don't remember who it's from, Caden would though, but I'm presenting. I have excused racism, sexism, violence, homophobia because I didn't want to, couldn't afford to lose access. Which I think is something I've heard a lot when working with people who have home health aides, for example, who need home health to survive. But that does not necessarily mean that person is good for them on any like spiritual or metaphysical level. What is happening? Oh no, never mind. Oh wait, there's a chat. Maybe that's what I'm hearing. Yes, Jason, very good. This is what I desire. This is a quote from Mia Mingus. To be able to love and not to have access used as a weapon, and to be able to have access without fear of losing love. to be able to love and not have access used as a weapon, and to be able to have access without fear of losing love. Powerful. I meant that genuinely. So now that was forced access. Now we're switching it up to access intimacy. This is what I desire. This is the same quote again. I think this is access intimacy is I want to be able to love and not have access used as a weapon, and to be able to have access without fear of losing love. Access intimacy is kind of defined as an elusive, hard to describe feeling when someone just gets your access needs. Which goes along with our Be For A slogan. Our like unofficial / official slogan has always been Be For A place where people just get it. Which I think is a really powerful slogan. I'm not going to cry, but I just took a moment. I went, I could cry about that, but I'm presenting. So that's just kind of like just when people get it without you having to express it or explain it or do all of that, and it can be a really beautiful thing. This is a video which will then be on the website by Mia Mingus about access intimacy, interdependence, and disability justice. We're not going to watch it because it's very long, but it's good. Recommend if you haven't seen it before. Okay. New vibes, similar vibes. This was more pertinent when we used GroupMe, but another thing is Crip Solidarity, which is like just being willing to adapt. Actually, you know what? You'll see. There's a poem about Crip Solidarity, so I'm just gonna give you an example first. I replied to a message another Be For A member said, and I said, I love your insight. Can you type in smaller chunks so it's easy to read? They were writing in like huge, like mega paragraphs when we were on GroupMe, so like on your phone. It was really hard for me to keep track of with my dyslexia. And they replied, oh, definitely. I usually type my rants in the notes app, paste it. I usually type my rants in notes apps, paste it, see where it cuts off, and paste the rest. I apologize though, I definitely can do it in chunks. And then we made that like a rule when we had GroupMe as our main communication, and I cried because then I could read all the chats, and it was great. This is Crip Solidarity, a poem of sorts by Kate and Gill. I didn't know what to call this. It's like a definition, but it reads as a poem, and it's kind of pretty. So I decided to leave it all in and not condense any of it. Crip Solidarity, being there for each other and sticking with one another. By Crip Solidarity by Mia Mingus. Wherever you are is where I want to be, Crip Solidarity. Oh, hilarious. I didn't read this slide fully. This is a poem by Mia Mingus. Makes so much more sense. Get ready. It's not by Kate and Gill. He's copied it. And I'm bad at reading slides. Wherever you are is where I want to be. My chair can't go into the restaurant. Your dog isn't allowed in that one, so we will order in. We will move together. Sometimes we are comrades, sometimes we are strangers, but we will stay together. Because I know what it is like to be left behind, left out, forgotten about. And I know you know as well, we vow not to do that together to each other. I'm not giving up an evening out. This is a glorious evening in with Crip love as opposed to a night without you, without parts of me. Loving you helps me love me. Loving me means loving you. Because the truth is, I'm still giving up the able-bodied washed version of myself people have come to know. For most of my life, I've played a survival, able-bodied, friendly version of myself, rather than nurture the disabled, self-loving version I ache, I desire, I need to be, because it is often meant a little more connection, a little less isolation. But being together helps. We will find other ways, create our own ways, and talk liberation, access, and interdependency with our comrades. We will do what we do best, make shit happen, make something out of nothing, survive, one ride, one pill, one break, to rest at a time. Together, we will help each other love each other, and in doing so, love ourselves. And so now that was this beautiful poem that I love, that I talked about how Cadence said, but isn't Cadence. I'm now going to end the recording and make your faces appear, and we're going to vibe. Wait, no, don't stop sharing. Stop recording. Na, 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 na.